Hello all. This week we are reviewing all of the different elements of writing that we've been learning, and in this video we are going to review the rhetorical modes that we've covered so far this semester. Alright, what is a rhetorical mode? A rhetorical mode is simply the way or method in which we can effectively communicate through language. So again, rhetorical mode is simply the way or the method in which we communicate. It's also important to know that the rhetorical mode a writer chooses depends on his or her purpose for writing, and that oftentimes writers incorporate more than one mode into their essay. And I'll give you a really good example of this. One of your classmates this semester started writing his descriptive essay, and he emailed me and he said, I started writing my descriptive essay, but it's kind of like a story too, but I'm still describing. So is that okay? And of course I emailed him back and I said, oh, that's great. I said, that's fine. It's just important to know that if you are focusing on one particular rhetorical mode, you want to make sure that that is your primary focus. But oftentimes we will find ourselves using different rhetorical modes in our writing, and it's fine. That happens all the time. All right, so far this semester we have covered narrative mode, the descriptive mode, and the comparison contrast mode. Narration. So narration has to do with telling a story, right? Narration means the art of storytelling, and the purpose of a narrative is to tell stories. Anytime you tell a story to a friend or family member about an event or incident in your day, you engage in a form of narration. And we wrote narrative essays earlier this semester, and I know that you're thinking, that was great and wonderful, but who cares? And how am I going to use this in the workplace? And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about in this little PowerPoint. So the narrative in the workplace. How does that work? So here's an example of where you will actually use this rhetorical mode. When interviewing candidates for jobs, employers often ask about conflicts or problems a potential employee has had to overcome. They are asking for a compelling personal narrative. To prepare for this question in a job interview, you could write out a scenario using the narrative mode structure. This will allow you to troubleshoot rough spots as well as to better understand your own personal history. Both processes will make your story better and your self-presentation better too. All right, the next mode that we practiced was the description mode. We wrote a descriptive essay. Writers use description in writing to make sure that their audience is fully immersed in the words on the page. This requires effort by the writer to describe his or her world through the use of sensory details, descriptions that appeal to our sense of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, right? So if you remember, one of the things that I really tried to encourage you to do was to use sensory language in your descriptive essay. Description in the workplace. Writing at work. So whether you're presenting a new product or a service to a client, training new employees, or brainstorming ideas with colleagues, the use of clear, evocative detail is crucial. Make an effort to use details that express your thoughts in a way that will register with others. And lastly, comparison and contrast. Comparison in writing analyzes two subjects by comparing them, contrasting them, or both. And I was just looking at little images. I thought this is cute, right? So comparing the apples to oranges, they say, well, we're both fruit. Anyway, I thought it was cute. But the key to a good comparison and contrast essay is to choose 2 or more subjects that connect in a meaningful way, right? So I tried to give you some different topics because I didn't want you to compare 2 types of phones or apples and oranges, right? Or cats and dogs. The purpose of conducting the comparison contrast to compare them or to contrast them is not to state the obvious, but to illuminate subtle differences or unexpected similarities. Drawing distinctions between these elements in a similar category will increase the audience's understanding of that category, and that is the purpose of a comparison contrast essay. Writing at work. When will you compare and contrast at work? Right? Comparing and contrasting is also an evaluative tool. In order to make accurate evaluations about a given topic, you must first know the critical points of similarity and difference. Comparing and contrasting is a primary tool for many workplace assessments. Employee advancements, pay raises, hiring, and firing are typically conducted using compare and contrast. So I hope that just gave you a little bit more of an understanding of, not just why we're learning these things. We're learning these things because it's English composition and these are the things you learn in English composition, but why is that important to what you're going to be doing at your job, right? So anyway, I hope this has benefited you. Thank you so much for watching, and remember that you can email me if you have any questions or comments. Thanks so much.